Hello students, welcome back to one more class. This time we have grammar practice lesson 80, would rather. First, if you like this video, please like it. This is very important for the channel. Hit thumbs up, please. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Let's get started. Would rather followed by the simple form of the verb means to prefer. The contracted form, rather, is generally used. Note the position and use of than. Examples: I would rather study than watch Netflix. He'd rather run in the park than exercise at the gym. And we'd rather go to the woods this weekend. An implied comparison with any other choice. We don't mention the other choice or choices, but this is what we'd rather do. Okay, go to the woods. Guys, would rather, than. Would rather contracted, than. And we'd rather go to the woods this weekend than anything else. Okay, now some practice as usual. Change these sentences to introduce would rather. Use both the full form and the contracted form. Be sure that rather appears only once in each clause. Number 1. I prefer to wait inside rather than in the sun. So let's copy as usual and paste. I would rather wait inside than in the sun. I would rather wait inside. I prefer to wait inside. I'd rather wait inside. Contracted form. I'd rather, just like this. Great. I'd rather wait inside than in the sun. Number 2. They prefer to walk to work. So they prefer to, they would rather walk to work. Contracted form, they'd rather, just like this. They'd rather walk to work. Quite simple. Number 3. We prefer to spend the summer in Florida instead of in New York. This is gonna be we prefer to, we would rather. What, guys? Spend the summer in Florida than in New York. Great, guys, huh? Would rather, whatever, than. Awesome. Contracted form, we'd rather, just like that. We'd rather spend the summer in Florida than in New York. Number 4. The doctor says that she prefers to work at her office. Let's copy, let's paste. The doctor says that she prefers to, she would rather work at her office. The doctor says that she'd rather work. Contracted. Great. Work at her office. Number 5. I prefer not to mention it to them now. This is gonna be I prefer not to, I would rather not. I would rather not mention it to them now. Contracted form, copy, paste. I'd rather, just like this. Cool. I'd rather not mention it to them now. Number 6. I prefer to eat healthy food rather than fast food. I prefer to, I would rather eat healthy food than fast food. Contracted form. I would rather, I'd rather. I would rather, I'd rather eat healthy food than fast food. Number 7. She prefers to meet me tomorrow. She prefers to, she would rather meet me tomorrow. She'd rather, guys. Contracted. She'd rather meet me tomorrow. we go. Awesome. She'd rather meet me tomorrow. She prefers to meet me tomorrow. Number 8. I prefer to talk with you in private. I prefer to. I would rather talk with you in private. I would. I'd rather. I prefer to talk. I'd rather talk with you in private. Number 9. I prefer to drive a big car rather than a small one. What about you guys? I prefer to. I would rather drive a big car than a small one. Contracted form, I'd rather. Just like this. I'd rather drive a big car than a small one. Number 10. Mary prefers to study at home. For this one, I'm just gonna use would rather because it's kind of weird if I use a contracted form with her name. I can speak like Mary'd rather study at home, but writing is kind of weird, okay? So Mary would rather study at home. Number 11, I prefer to do all my homework in the evening. I prefer to. I would rather. What, guys? Do all my homework in the evening. Contracted, I would rather. I'd rather. I'd rather do all my homework in the evening. 12. She prefers to live in a large city like New York. I love New York City. So she prefers to. She would rather live in a large city like New York. She would rather. Contracted. She'd rather. Awesome. She'd rather live in a large city like New York. 13. I prefer to travel to California. Beautiful California, sunny California. I prefer to. I would rather travel to California. Contracted form, I'd rather travel. I'd rather travel to California. And 14. I prefer to invest my money rather than spend it all. That's a great move, guys. Invest your money. I prefer to. I would rather invest my money than spend it all. Contracted form, I'd rather. Just like this. I'd rather invest my money than spend it all. 15. I prefer to read a good book rather than watch TV. I prefer to. I would rather read a good book than watch TV. I would rather. I'd rather read a good book than watch TV. 16. Hey, the last one. He prefers to travel to big cities. I prefer to travel to the beach. So here we have two subjects. He prefers, I prefer. So he prefers to. He would rather travel to big cities. I prefer to. I would rather travel to the beach. And the contracted form. He would rather travel. He'd rather travel like this. He'd rather travel to big cities. And I'd rather travel to the beach. Well, guys, that's all we have today, huh? Very short. So, thank you again so much for watching one more class. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, like it, and if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon again. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.